Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, as well as any members of the LGBTQ community. How are you guys doing today? It's your boy Thunder, and I'm here today with.
CaptainK.
Well, then, we are getting ready for another beautiful game in the Peachimaris tournament here with the Peachimari team as well as Team Valkyrie. And first map's gonna be Nepal. So, Captain K, what you expect? What's gonna be happening today?
I definitely think Nepal is going to give us a pretty interesting first map. Uh, Simply because everybody's familiar with just the environmental hazards in play when it comes to Nepal, and the level of control you can see with teams taking sites purely based off environmental kills. So I think it's going to be a pretty spicy map.
Do you expect the Lucio to come out, the Hawk, maybe the Orisa, maybe even a Pharaoh with the concussion? Who knows?
I think for sure, like we'll probably at least see the Lucio. Um, I haven't seen too much Hog recently, just in the Overwatch that I've seen, but maybe one of these teams will go into that kind of pick comp and see if they can make a couple easy kills happen.
Well, it seems like the teams are actually getting ready, so we should be ready to go here in just a second. Loading into Nepal once our production gives us the ready up, and we are loading in. But yeah. Well then, overall, what I've seen so far, Peachimari is currently in 4th place with a 1 win, 0 loss ratio, which is pretty strong. At the same time, Valkyrie is currently in 9th place with a loss onto their name. So this is going to be interesting to see if they can negate that to that 0-2, or if Pichimaru can follow up with the 2-0 win here.
I definitely think it's going to be a pretty interesting match because if you can see, like these teams have a pretty similar SR balance, and I know that doesn't mean a lot to everybody. SR doesn't define skill level, but to a certain extent, if you see teams pretty evenly matched, you'll tend to see a pretty close fight. Good brawl.
To quote someone, well, who's been a little bit controversial the last few days, but still, there could be a Widowmaker somewhere down in silver, being a Widowmaker one trick, and he would farm you even as a gem.
Yeah, exactly, man. SR definitely, like to me, doesn't define skill level. There are a lot of players that are stuck in the lower ranks that if they could fix a couple things in their gameplay, you could see them shoot the diamond to masters. It'd be crazy. Some players are held back by so little.
Exactly. There can be little things like just positioning or just a little bit on the game sense, or maybe that you're too over aggressive in the game that can hold you back and just pretty much get you punished all the time. But ladies and gentlemen, with this, we're gonna be heading to the Nepal map here first. I think with Sanctum, this one is called. I'm
Yeah,
playing this game for 5 years now, pretty much, and I still don't know what the exact maps are called, so don't worry.
I think this is Sanctum. I am very curious. We're seeing some interesting picks on the side of
We're actually going to be looking at the Hawk, and then Stone's going to come in. He's going to be hitting Weasley, but Weasley's not going to be taking any more damage except the Stone. The Antidote comes in, rolls through, hits the Winston, and that's going to be Star instantly demacked by DarthBieber right there. ZenDis though finding the pick in the bag. He's going to find the Junkrat, and with that, that's already a 5v6 fight. And now they're on the back foot. They have to retreat.
This is gearing up to be a pretty crazy fight already. There's so much chip damage going out.
By both sides actually, with the Junkrat on one side and the other side with the Pharah just continuously putting in spam damage, but the Pharah already has her ultimate available, so that's gonna be a barrage coming up pretty much right now. And ready though, finding Trashley, but the rest is gonna come through, and the Nano onto the Hawk though. Sushi finding Echo in the backline though, and that's a barrage coming through. That's two. Is that free? No, it's not free because Kujo is gonna be shutting him down, but Weezy's gonna follow up in the dive, and Weezy's gonna find two. And it's just gonna be the Sake left alive trying to get out, but he's gonna be chased down.
I definitely think that was a pretty clean execution in the first little skirmish we're seeing from Peachimari's. The big barrage with the follow-ups, but I think what I'm seeing here is, Valkyrie's drafted this kind of poke composition. They have the Ashe, they have the Junkrat, and I don't feel like they're really chipping out their targets. I feel like they're just trying to fight when they need to sit back and poke for a bit before they really try to take these fights.
All the Hogs constantly on the sides trying to get some flank damage in, but the question is, will he really? Oh, he actually gets shut down. The sleep instantly hits him. I do not know what that Diva Bomb was, but still the remake is gonna come through, and the anti onto Riley. So Riley is gonna be punished right there, but he manages to get out, and that's gonna be 2 ults being used in the instant. What a sleep though!
An absolutely crazy sleep.
And ZenDis still doing so much damage from the sideline. Sushi actually, I think he killed himself with the pulse bomb.
Yeah, I believe so. He pulse bomb.
And I'm actually reading the wrong sheet open, so sorry if I mispronounced any pronouns there.
Oh wow, ZenDis came up huge.
That's the 3K. But Seaweb with 2 in the back, he's still they are still on the point. They're gonna focus. Bob's gonna come through, and Bob's gonna be putting enormous damage into Sal right there. Tyre's gonna be coming rolling in. Question is, can he find anything with the Tyre? That's the mercy there.
Wow, that's a huge Tyre.
And that's gonna be the point flipping.
Oh.
That was actually kind of scary for a second because I thought someone of the actual players had just DC'd there, but no.
Yeah, I thought so as well. It is good that we're seeing this first point go out to a little bit more of a fight. You know, I didn't want to see just 100-0. You know, Valkyrie starting to put up a bit of a skirmish.
Well, we're gonna be looking at the barrage though with the nano. That's gonna be one. He's gonna be eaten up, and ZenDis is gonna go down right there. Junk's gonna get nanoed, and that's gonna be so much damage. It's gonna be the nano onto the Winston, but a nano Junkrat and the Discord on the Winston. This is gonna deny him everything. But ZenDis finding 2. Hoggle is gonna come through. Not finding any picks so far though. And Seaweb though coming in from the spawn again, finding Sushi. That's gonna be the tracer out of the occasion. And the fight keeps going. Weasel finding Lucio. They're being slowly pressured out of the point. DarthBieber now finding Trashley. This is just gonna keep going. Seaweb finding Lucio on the other side though. But ZenDis is gonna reply with a kill onto the Ashe. And now there's gonna be the forced chance to contest the point. Tyre is gonna come through. What will the Tyre get? He's looking for targets, but it's gonna be a Diva point on board, and that's gonna be the Sigma dead. ZenDis killing the Zen, but finding himself in the progress, and it just keeps going.
So we're so close. There's so many small skirmishes happening. They're so close to getting the point back.
This is such a close fight. LYNKEECHOW finding Kujo though. That's gonna be the Lucio with 2. Can you get a third? Can we get a third? No, the Lucio himself cleans up 2. So it's gonna be actually able to just clean up the point and actually managing to get the first cap going completely through.
1-0.
It was a pretty excellent round. I mean, coming through from really both teams. Honestly, the Peachimari looked pretty strong in the first half, and then Valkyrie, you know, came through, said we're not going down without a fight. You know, came through, got a couple counter pushes in, and so far this has been a pretty interesting map.
Well, the question is going to be what are going to be the adaptions here, because now we're going to be looking at the Reinhardt actually. Oh, the Maze Symmetra comp. This map is actually pretty known for that composition.
1.
Mesa Metra coming out for the Peachimaris. We see a swap over to Soldier for Eco coming into this point. We'll have to see if it can prove to get some work done, but apparently not.
Lucio already going in. Lucio just finding himself the first pick, and it's just gonna keep continuing. Weasel with the charge, finding the hog. The wall actually in sight. Major credit to the May right there, because the wall cut off 3 of them, and the rest of the red team right there had to retreat because 3 people walled off, 3 people dead, and that's how it is.
I mean, it was such a dominant first fight for Peachimaris. I mean, they took control of the point right away. They weren't wasting any time.
Well, now they're doing the right thing. They're not going to be rotating into the small corridor up top because they know they have a main up. But stop finding the Junkrat. And that is not good because that's going to be so much damage gone. ZenDis killing the immortality field right there. That's gonna be a dynamite. Oh no, the Matrix is gonna be used. Question is, can they be getting any value from the Matrix? He's gonna be charging, but not gonna find anybody, and that's gonna be WeaselCake. Whoa, ZenDis with the headshot through the Matrix is gonna find Kujo.
You see ZenDis off on the side, literally just chasing down Seaweb.
Weasel though finding himself too. We're gonna have ZenDis with another pick onto Seaweb. And the fight's already over. This actually looked very winnable for Valkyrie right there, but after the work done by Weasel, it was pretty much just a lost fight already.
I mean, Weasel put in huge work, ZenDis put in huge work. This May is coming in clutch for them right now, honestly.
Well, we gotta keep our eyes out for the MVP candidates there. So, yeah, ZenDis already getting the name out there. Oh, that's gonna be a shatter, and that's gonna be a big shatter. That's gonna be 4. Bomb's not gonna find anybody, and Riley going to just keep swinging everyone in his way. Reinhardt is just gonna be swinging at everyone, and that's gonna be such a dominant Ryan performance with the shatter cleaning up everybody.
Yeah, it was such a huge retake from the Valkyries. I mean, Riley gets an amazing shatter. You see Eco put down some huge damage with the bombs.
Now Taya's coming up, as well as DarthBieber with the Diva bomb. This can be actually... Oh no, this could be disgusting. But nobody gets found by it. Weasel doing the right thing, rotating back, shielding his team. The fight is just going to keep continuing. Shatter doesn't connect, gets blocked, and the Maywall's gonna be used to just negate any damage. But Riley, he doesn't care. He's just gonna fucking push through the entire thing.
He has absolutely no cares. He just ran right through the wall into their whole team. I mean, this man just doesn't stop swinging even when there's nobody to swing at.
Just gonna keep swinging. Keep swinging. ZenDis though finding DarthBieber, which is gonna be difficult. But the charge, Riley's gonna be frozen up, and with that the retake is gonna come in. That's a 4v6 scenario currently. And if that tire doesn't come in clutch, and it doesn't because the immortality field pretty much saves the entire team. This is gonna be Seaweb on top of the high ground, being the last one alive.
See ZenDis with that quick wall though.
That's Seaweb going to be a giant stagger.
In place.
Now it's gonna be a 3v6 fight on point. The shatter hits all 3. Echo, last one on point. Going to be shut down in an instant. Maspa going to for the immortality on point. Feet's gonna be used, Matrix is gonna be used. The Bob's actually gonna be able to just get some sightlines into the point, but being insta-bursted down. And now the beat's gonna come through onto Riley, so Riley can maybe stay alive a little longer, but it doesn't matter because Sushi does so much damage to them, and that's gonna be the first map taken.
So I definitely think the Peachimari's put up a really strong performance. I want to highlight that the one Blizzard we saw come out from ZenDis right at the end of the game there was such a great zoning Blizzard. It didn't necessarily catch too many freezes, but it zoned the entirety of the Valkyries off and just let them push onto the point for free.
And that's some good rockets right there. That's a beautiful free K by ZenDis. And I mean, the medals talk for themselves.
I think it's interesting. You see, there were you know, it was ZenDis, and then it was the supports of the stars of the show here. I think really what we're seeing is, I mean, Peachimaris, when they come out, they're very dominant in the very beginning of the game, and then you see Valkyrie kind of come in, put a fight back up, and secure. But what I'm seeing from Valkyrie is they need to work on their holds. I mean, they're getting pretty solid like takes, but it's like their defense isn't holding up. I mean, Peachimaris are taking it back too easily to the point that Valkyrie can't close out these rounds.
It's overall, it's actually kind of interesting to see because you're going to be looking at the map and how they play it. And usually, Peachimari does a very good job at holding the point until the point where Valkyrie finds an opportunity where a player pops off big. Like the best example for that was just the second point right there, where Riley pretty much solo-handedly flips the point by shattering 4 or 5 people.
Oh yeah, and
And that's the turn for them.
yeah, they have
But
these
he,
huge openings from just individual players. I mean, you saw Riley on the last point with the big shatter. You saw Eco on the first point with the like it was like a 3 or 4 person tire. I mean, connecting these, they have all these great pieces, but if they can connect them and make them work together, then they're going to get these more cohesive holds and
mhm,
actually be able to really hold up and take the rounds. Because I mean, both those rounds were close toward the end. I mean, the first round went to an overtime fight between the two teams. I think Valkyrie was at 80% and they were at 65% on the last map. You know, you clean a couple things up and there's a chance those rounds and maybe even a map goes in your favor.
exactly. Like one small mistake that doesn't happen can pretty much mean that they take the round. So yeah, seems like we're gonna be heading to Temple of Anubis here pretty soon, and we're gonna get some swaps in. So Fionn is gonna come in for Kujo, while I think that's actually it with any swaps. It's the only swap I really see.
I actually believe Star went out on the side of Peachimari's, and I
Yeah, I
believe
see. I see. Actually, true, true.
no, not Sushi.
Sushi was there. ZenDis was there. MrLogan, I am not sure.
Yeah, I believe MrLogan is going in for Star.
And I'm actually not sure if Lemonwench was in it as well. I know that Trashley was. I think well, now we just swapped the teams up. Lemonwench and MrLogan, I think, are coming in on the side of Peachimaris. But on the other side, I think the teams are pretty much the same. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's the same.
yeah. MrLogan and Lemonwench went in, and WeaselCake and Star came out for the Peachimaris.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, let's see how this is going to go. New
So
players coming in, new faces.
we're actually
Guess what?
having another swap. They're swapping Cujo back in for Mars.
So Kujo went out for his 1 minute break and comes back in from us.
Yeah.
Hold on, seems like are both teams ready? We're gonna see that in just a second. But CaptainK, tell me, what do you think about Temple of Anubis?
I think this is a really interesting map to me. The first point always just turns into either you hold it at the very beginning or it turns into these crazy 3-minute fights on the first objective. And and then it's like generally whatever team takes the first objective, you see take the second one either in about 45 seconds or it goes to overtime. It's this map is
Pretty
just
much.
very coin toss to me. Like it's you either win the fight right away or you dig in and it's like trying to break down a wall.
Blizzard, rework Anubis when question mark.
Yeah, for real. I think this map could actually benefit from a rework.
I kind of feel like that the Anubis would be a very nice map for like a payload map. But you would just have to like some of the ramps at the start, you would have to like longer out, make them longer, that like a payload can drive up it. Then go like around the left side. Instead of like going through like the main choke with a payload, just like running around the left to the mega, over the bridge, and then like actually bring something new into the game. Like drop it down from the high ground on the other mega. Onto the point.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was thinking too when you were talking about payload is, it goes up the left side, across the bridge, out the right side and drops onto the point to finish. Like that would be really interesting. I'm a pretty big like old school like Team Fortress 2 player and a lot of the payload maps on Team
Oh.
Fortress you see a lot of the payload maps when they'll finish, they'll even for the first point, they'll fall off and go down a giant pit. And that's something, especially with Temple of Anubis. I mean, it's a temple, so I mean, talking about Egypt, there were a lot of like the smaller crypts and stuff that were inside of temples. So
Mhm.
you could go with the Egyptian theme a little more and have the payload like fall down into a crypt or something.
That would actually be very dope. Talking about TF2 though, tell me you had the achievement where you bullied people when they quit and you got
Oh yeah.
that was in my opinion the best achievement ever given out in a game.
Oh yeah, just for straight up actually bullying somebody after they into quitting the game. Like
Yeah, pretty much. Like he dominated him, and if he left, it was
you
done.
got yeah, you got the
He got
achievement.
it.
There were
I
some
love them.
hilarious achievements.
It was actually like fun. Like it took me kind of decent while to get it, but what I just did was pretty much like place a turret in a spawn room, and like he walked out of the door like 15 times and got killed by the turret. So that was pretty much it, and like he quit after that. Didn't expect to get it like that, but I mean I'm okay with that.
I believe mine was from I primarily am like a pyro scout player, so I believe I got mine from the holy mackerel, like the fish baseball bat for the scout.
Yeah,
I believe I killed one guy so many times with it that he just left the game
being beaten to death by a fish. Imagine.
repeatedly, just over and over.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back onto the focus, as well as any members of the LGBTQ community, of course. And it's gonna be Temple of Anubis. Some hate it, some love it, but I think the majority really hates this map. And we're gonna be looking at ZenDis back on the Farah, which he had a lot of impact in previously. So, what do you expect to see here?
I think this is really interesting because from the side of Valkyrie or Peachimari's, you see like a Winston Zarya coming out. So, they're kind of looking for this like protective dive, whereas it's like you have the Reinhardt Zarya on the defensive side. So it's really going to be just whose tanks can have more impact here, in my opinion.
Exactly, and how much value does the Farah get? One good boop right now by the Farah, and that's gonna be the Rhine in so much trouble. Dive comes through. Nobody's gonna be really taking damage. The immortality field gets used, which in my opinion is not the best move right there. Winston comes back in with the bubble. And Eco though, finding Lemonwench. That is not good. No mercy for the Farah anymore, and that probably should mean they have to retreat and reset. The Junker's gonna keep on shooting, but they're gonna engage this. The charge comes in though, and he hits him. Riley finding MrLogan. And it just...
I absolutely love Fionn's positioning here because if you see the Baptiste is so far from the fight that it's like the DPS have to go out of their way to get him. You can kind of see Sushi almost chasing him around on the sidelines, but he's been putting in such clutch healing.
That's gonna be the 1v1 though, and he's gonna be distracted by the Tracer there. So he's gonna be focused. ZenDis! Oh no! It's gonna be 2 picks again. It's gonna be the junk as well as Zarya deleted from the game. And with that, that's all the space they need. ZenDis finding the 3rd one. Just a Lucia left alive. And with that, points already over.
I mean, ZenDis is just showing up time and time again for Peachimari's, doing everything that they need him to do. I mean, they have this Far Mercy pocket combo, and it's clear that this is something that works for them and something they're used to doing.
Well, focus. Oh no, that could be. Oh no, the punish, the anti-nade. It's gonna be the barrage, it's gonna be 3, it's gonna be 5 down. Everybody's dead. It's just the Baptiste left alive. Immortality is gonna be used, but he's gonna be deleted in an instant. This cap could be over in just like... Oh no!
This literally comes back to what we were talking about right at the beginning. It's either over immediately, or we get fights like these.
But the Shatter comes through, and it's gonna be hitting enough targets. And they're actually managing to flip this around. It's gonna be a 2v4 fight now. And ZenDis is gonna be bursted down here by Echo. Same time though, the Winston tried to get out, but Kujo hunted him all the way to the entrance to the 2nd point, just to find him and pick him off. With that, we're gonna be just looking at the reset here.
That was pretty much the delayed team kill coming out from the Valkyries there on defense. It was pretty much a full wipe.
But they paid for it. Because if you look at the time, they have 4 minutes 20 left. They have more time left than they started with. and they are already at 78.5%. It's one tick, only one tick left.
And I mean, you look. I mean, ZenDis's barrage is already halfway back up. The bomb is almost halfway back up for Sushi. I mean, these ultimates, especially on such a small point, are going to have such a huge impact. I believe we're going to have a reconnect from Fionn to maybe try to fix what I believe was a ping spike.
Well, it seems like we're gonna be having a short 5-minute break then. Let me sub in for Fionn. Seems like we're actually gonna. Wait, I am a little confused.
That was Star
That's
trying to
the
be
other
like,
team,
oh
right?
yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, Star is a member of the Peachimaris trying to betray her own team and go play for the Valkyries.
Why would you do this? That is not acceptable.
Hey man, I mean, when you have the competitive itch, you have the competitive itch. She just wants to get back out there.
She's gonna be like, yeah, I'm about to farm my own team. Let's go.
I was about to say, you never know, man. Like, it's nice because when it comes up, you're like, you have these grudges against your teammates sometimes. It's the tiny little petty things you don't always want to bring up. And Star's like, come on, let me in there. I want to beat him up. Like.
Who doesn't hope for that? I often feel like if like in a high level of play like Overwatch League is example, like how is it for people who swap between the teams? Like who do we have as an example? Mano from Infusion currently, an ex NYXL player. I'm
Yeah.
often thinking myself when they play NYXL is he like, yeah, Jonik, I hate you. I'm gonna come and dive you constantly. Like
Yeah, he's like,
it represents,
finally. He's like, he finally gets that payback he's been looking for. It's like, I come from a bit of a different background. I do have some history in Overwatch, but I have a pretty big career in like Rainbow Six Siege as a like tier 2, tier 3 player. And I mean, you've seen the more modern gritty shooters get pretty bad with the trash talk. So I
Oh
can only
no.
I can only imagine, the trash talk that's maybe come out between Overwatch League members. You switch into a different team, and you may have called some of these guys some pretty harsh words, but then you have to play with them every day.
Oh no.
Looks
Well,
like
then we're
we're
going to
gonna
be
be back.
focusing right back into the game here, ladies and gentlemen, as well as any members of the LGBTQ community. And we're going to be looking at the next attack onto the second point here by Peachimaris. The barrage is online, so this could get some devastating results. The dive comes through though, into the backline, and the tanks are gonna get. Oh no, they could be in so much trouble. Eco though, with the mine thrown straight into everybody, gonna find Trashley, and that's gonna be the Anagon. But the rest is gonna come through, so Trashley's gonna be back in the fight.
I think the game plan here for the Val. Oh,
And barrage is gonna be used, but no value found. Eco killing the Mercy as well, and it's already retreat for everybody.
I think what we're seeing here is a very solid game plan from the Valkyries. It's like they're getting this little chip damage. They'll chase down the kills they know they can get, but then they just pull back to the site, say, let's reset, make sure we're in the right place.
Well, and that's gonna just be a complete reset by both teams now, getting themselves ready to head into a position where they can go for an attack again. Now we're gonna have a nano available on the side of Peachimari's, where on the other side of Valkyrie you're gonna have 5 ults coming online. So this could be pretty much just an ult fight. Sushi gets stuck in the trap. Gonna be finished off by the Winston. Now the nano's gonna come through onto the Winston, but Beat's gonna be used at the same time. So extra sustain coming through, so nobody dies to the nano Winston right there. Time comes through. It's gonna be Trashley taken care of by the pulse bomb. And the fight already seems to be lost, and they're just gonna be retreating completely back.
See, I feel like we're just kind of looking at ultimate fight after ultimate fight, because Fionn and Nico have theirs now, but we have 3 ults on the side of Peachimari's as well.
Well, some rockets coming in from ZenDis onto point, but now the problem is going to be a lot of ults has been used by Valkyrie, and now at the same time on the other side though, Peachimari is gonna come up with 4 giant ults. They have pretty much a pulse bomb graph combination. They have a graph and barrage combination. The primal's in there as well, and this is gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna manage to fight this fight. Primal's gonna be used. ZenDis now has the barrage available, and that's gonna be the Taya use. Taya has to be huge. But Taya gets shut down! The barrage finds the Taya, which in my opinion is a good equal trade. It's just gonna be the Hawk left on point, because, but he's anti, and he's gonna be shut down in an instant, and with that, no, Tracer actually Seaweb being able to touch it. Winston's gonna come into point, but the rest is gonna come through, so the Zara is gonna be back onto the point. And Sushi finding 2 more, MrLogan finding another 2, and this is just gonna be Lucio and Ball left on the point, trying to get stall for more time. But they've actually managed to get it below a minute, but that's all they're gonna have. Only 58 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, it was a pretty good effort from the Valkyrie to continue to stall the point, but I mean, the Peachimaris, what it comes down to me is we're seeing a lot more coordinated executes. Whereas, like what we talked about in the first map with the Valkyries, they have amazing individual skill, but they're not meshing together as well. It's like they're not as coordinated when it comes to their execution as the Peachimaris.
Pretty much, yeah. And it feels like Valkyrie is probably like a team that plays together for like 3-4 months, while Peachimari plays more like a team that has been together for like a year, if not longer. Just from the field.
And I agree with you completely. I mean, it just looks like almost a gap in experience, in my opinion. You know, a gap, or you know, the Peachimaris has more time playing together, so it just kind of looks like we're really seeing the differences of what that does when it comes down to these stressful situations, where you can see the Peachimaris almost are holding each other together more cohesively. And it's like they're covering for each other's weaknesses in these stressful situations, whereas you see Valkyrie kind of fall apart and don't always know how to cover each other's weaknesses.
Pretty much, yeah. But now it's going to actually be interesting, because this is going to be a turnaround. So Echo now actually on the Farah, while Sushi is going to be picking up the Ashe with the damage boost by the Mercy. So this is going to be pretty much a fight between both the main DPS, I guess.
That's what it seems to look like, and right now, I mean, Eco's getting a lot of chip damage.
Dive comes through, they're going to be focusing on the Immortality. Immortality is going to be going down, and the Winston's going to be completely locking Trashley into the ZenDis again, finding 2. Eco finding the Baptiste, which no rest available, as Riley is going to be rest back up. But Trashley now going to be rest as well, and this is going to be interesting. Riley, I think, is stuck on a trap, yeah, and that's going to be BNatural finding DarthBieber. It's going to be the Winston down, and that's going to be a full-on retreat by them. They don't really have any space without the main tank.
I definitely think this is a very strong hold from the Peachimaris so far, and I mean, ZenDis is just coming up huge time and time again for this team. It's the second we start talking about somebody else, this guy says to put the attention back on ZenDis. Like, you know.
Pretty much. Riley's gonna roll into the backline. It seems like they're trying to contest the Ashe, just to focus on the Ashe to like get some space. Kuyo now with the DPS Mercy, but the question is he gonna get punished for that? No, Eco, he gets punished, the Mercy's dead. Eco finding the barrage, going to go in. Taya comes through. Taya, ZenDis again! He's gonna be finding 2 Seaweb at the same time, replying with a kill onto ZenDis, but the Ashe could rest up top. There's going to be another main DPS in the game here for Peachimaris.
You see this wrecking ball just stalling time and like desperately trying to stay alive.
Kujo back on point, trying to go for the DPS Mercy onto the Risa, but the Risa's just gonna finish it off with a slap. The Melaniegh coming in to finish it off. And
just a little gentle, you know, get off me fist to the face, you know, nothing personal.
Well, with 2 minutes left on the clock, this is looking very stressful. But same time, ults are coming up for both teams. We're gonna have the Bob, so it's a reset charger, the Sick ult, and the Matrix available. But on the other side, the Blade is coming in with, not of course, the Trance and both tank ultimatives. So question is going to be, who's going to be executing this better?
I agree, and I think the interesting thing here is we don't see an Ana coming out for the side of Valkyrie, so they don't have the Nano Blade, but here comes the Blade.
It's going to be shut down. Yeah, that's a massive move. And the Trance doesn't help. Because when there's 3 people shooting you through a Matrix, a Trance won't out-heal that damage. ZenDis still doing so much work finding the Mercy now. He's going to be finding the Genji now as well. It's only going to be the Pharaoh left alive. Can he actually escape?
Yeah.
Matrix actually going to save him.
He actually gets out. I think the craziest thing that I'm seeing about ZenDis is he's not even finding these kills with his launcher or his tires. He's finding so many kills with his hubcap. Like... He's grabbing so many kills per fight with just throwing a hubcap in and killing somebody.
I mean, the cooldown on it isn't that major. The dive comes in onto the backline though, so Riley's going to be focusing on trying to get the cleave damage in. The bomb's going to be used, and the bomb is in a very difficult position. Barrage comes through, but ZenDis again shutting it down. Chandler's going to be used. DarthBieber with the remake, but not finding any kills with it. Taya rolls through. Taya doesn't hit anybody. And this is a very sketchy fight. This could currently go both ways. Seaweb still on point trying to contest. Deflect's going to be used. And if he keeps managing to do this, he's going to be able to actually get the blade down. And the question is going to be, can he get any value of that blade? Blade's going to be used. It's going to be going after the...
Yeah, you can see him desperately trying to jump for Lemon, but he can't reach her.
That's such a messy fight. Fionn with the Trance is going to be able to keep his tanks a little bit longer in the game. ZenDis is going to be kept alive by the Mercy there. Lemonwench with the MVP res onto the Orisa. It's going to be the Winston in the backline trying to focus down. MrLogan in so much trouble as 3 people are constantly focusing down. He's going to be taken care of. ZenDis on point. It's going to be the bomb use, but Bob's going to be on point as well, and he's going to be pushed back into that doorway.
This is such a messy fight from both teams. It's like nobody can seem to get the lead, but finally, after what seems like 2 or 3 minutes, Valkyrie finally can take this point.
And this now, with the added time due to the cap coming up, they can still manage to win this fight, win this map faster than Peachimari's did.
Yeah, there's a chance that we can actually see Valkyries push back and take the map. That would be absolutely amazing to see an actual, like, this competitive series not have a 2-0.
Well, let's see how this is going to go. The dive comes through. So the junk's gonna be doing so much damage to DarthBieber, defect in an instant. That's gonna be the Baby Diva trying to get out. Seaweb though, finding the kill onto the air right there, but Lemonwench already being ready with the rest. That's gonna be still the 5v6, well 6v6 fight if you count the Baby Diva, but I'm not really counting a Baby Diva, so the 5v6 fight. And they're just gonna keep on doing some spam damage for the main choke.
Everyone heal up.
We see the Tire and the Valkyrie are up for Peachimari's, but we do have the Primal Rage for the side of Riley, so we might see a big dive come in and just open up with the Primal.
That's gonna be the dive into the backline. It's gonna be Riley finding Sushi in an instant. Ty's gonna be he kills both the supports! ZenDis, can you just stop? We've understood now that you're gonna get value every fight, but still.
I think the big thing for ZenDis is he was like, you know what? You're gonna jump off, leave your supports unprotected. That's fine. I'll take him right away. You know.
He's gonna get free. He's gonna get fought this fight. He kills both of the tanks as well. He's already back at 50% for the tire.
I think
the amount of value for me right now, ZenDis is the MVP candidate.
I was about to say the exact same thing. It's like we're on the same wavelength. I mean, ZenDis is just showing up time and time again that he is the clear standout in the DPS category in this match.
Well, Stone's gonna come through, it's gonna hit the soldier, but soldier's gonna survive it. And we're already down to 1 minute. I actually didn't see that. The time's already so drained. Why he's gonna be jumping in, but he's gonna be focusing it. That's an honor blade though. Sushi. Well, this could be. it's gonna be BNatural surviving barely with 1 HP. Bob's gonna be used on point, and the stabilization coming in from Peachimari is actually insane. The bomb's gonna come through, it's gonna find Lemon.
Oh my god!
But it's only gonna be Fionn left alive. And the respawns are gonna be too slow. It's only gonna be Riley that's gonna be able to touch. And with no primal available, I do not think there's gonna be much hope. There's gonna be one more fight.
I mean, you have the
seeing as
visor up
ZenDis-
for Soldier, but I don't feel like he's going to be able to do much.
I think that the eye has to be in ZenDis. ZenDis has the tire available. ZenDis gets to this fight, and they win. No
And
chance.
you can see ZenDis kind of tucked up. Yep, here comes the tire.
It's gonna roll into the back, finding the Zen. Fionn down. That's gonna be no trance available. That's actually such a big pick. Trap's gonna catch Echo, which is again assisted by ZenDis with the trap getting Echo down into a locked position. And the fight just keeps going. Seaweb being the last one alive, but he's gonna be blown up by ZenDis as well. And ZenDis solo-handedly just carrying this match.
I feel like at the end of this, the ZenDis just kind of said, "Hey, Peachimari is like, you know, everybody else, you can take a break. Like, I got this one."
That's just gonna be the second play of the game. Again. That's actually where he killed the tire.
Yeah, say 2 play of the games in a row for ZenDis.
It's a beautiful direct actually coming out. And again, the cards talk everything. ZenDis 16, nearly 17k damage, doing a third of his team's damage. That's just insane amounts of damage. Like, he alone is responsible for a third of the entire team damage output. It's 6 people on his team.
I think that's an
including-
absolutely crazy amount of damage.
It is. That actually is. That's 17k damage. If that's a third, that means pretty much that they had around 55k damage overall, with ZenDis putting out an actual just a third of that. Just the entire third of that just came by ZenDis.
It's just an entire third of this damage, and I mean, like, honestly, we had Sushi came out and was playing very, very well into like the secondary, like the off DPS role with the Ash. On that second map, came in very big on that defense. I mean, he put up a lot of work when he was chipping out Faro, whether he was picking supports. Like, his Bob usage was also amazing. I mean, he was timing his overall like contribution to the fight very well.
Especially like his tires always got value, no matter how many kills he got. It was 1 kill onto that Zen, but that was the trance gone. No trance available because he killed off the Zen at that point where the Zen had the trance, and that's just massive.
Yeah, it was an absolutely huge game-turning pick. Like that shut down any chance Valkyrie had of making a comeback on that map was shut down by that tire.
Well, but seems like with that, we're actually going to have the halftime break available, ladies and gentlemen, as well as any members of the LGBTQ community. And we're going to be, it looks like the next map pick is actually going to be Blizzard World.
So, I know this map is not liked by everybody, but I mean, this is one of my favorite maps, at least aesthetically in the game. I mean, gameplay-wise, you know, it can differ. You know, it all depends on the team. This is one of those maps that back when it was in the solo queue, like full rotation, you know, queuing into Blizzard World, I was like, oh well, you know, hopefully my randoms aren't bad. But when it comes to like aesthetics, I love all of the little Blizzard references in this map. They're absolutely amazing. Just to like walk through and overall just just walk through and look at this map and how beautifully it was designed and all the references to the franchises that Blizzard fans have grown to love.
Mhm. That's something I'm very fascinated too by. Question's always gonna be Overwatch 2. What will you have to offer? If you even come out one day. Because what they've shown so far, I didn't understand what I just heard, so Yes. Yes, yes.
So we are actually going to be going into our 5-minute halftime right before our third and final map of the first to 3.
Potentially final map.
Yeah, potentially final map, first to 3. So we will we'll have to see if Peachimari squeak or get that third map, or if Valkyrie brings up the reverse 30. You know, the reverse
The reverse
3-0.
sweep coming through.
We'll see you guys back here in 5 minutes with map 3 being Blizzard World.
Right? It was a shatter bomb. It was a just perfectly executed shatter bomb. Oh, I mean, we have to keep as much credit as Rabbinic Clutch just wrapped with a couple of people. Sparkle removed from the fight. And now, with Andrew, without that
WeaselCake going to throw out that Primal Rage, and he does take down Best he takes down Gullible. He might be able to push in the cart, clutching the match out. Peachimari are going to take Route 66 and take the series 3-1. Oh!
the red's gonna come through.
Oh, no, it's not.
ZenDis, an absolute fiend on the Tarbiard.
ZenDis.
Finally, one Deadeye, forcing a Shatter to push back. Don't know if it'll find anything, but it finds three! Taro, my God! Oh man, that was a fantastic Deadeye. This is what they need to be able to push in here. They still have the Nano and the Dragon to be able to do something on this offense.
At least a draw, but possibly a victory. And they're going to want to get in quick. And P-Dog getting that opening pick on the Rosethorn is going to allow that to happen. Nanomagnet with some quick reflexes, though, to take ZenDis.
Oh, but here comes the Coalesce. Dealing so much damage into them. The shatter comes in, though. Here's the K configuration. Once again, only FH with the Death Swap and 2 members of 07W.
Oh. And it is.
Well then, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, as well as any members of the LGBTQ community. Welcome back to the third map here on Blizzard World. And still with me today is...
CaptainK, and I am excited to get back into the action. What about you, Thunder?
Same. We had a pretty decent long break now, but we're gonna now run into the potentially final third map if Peachimari is gonna actually manage to clutch this one out. And yeah, well, let's see how this is going to go.
This is going to be a very interesting map. Like I will always reiterate, I love the way this map looks. It's a beautiful map. So many amazing references.
Exactly. There's so many things you can spot there. Especially, I've been playing through like the StarCraft 2 campaign recently again, and just seeing the siege tank on top of the tower is just giving me such a nice vibe.
Yeah, I know, right? The siege tanks and like the when you
Pylons.
you get back to the pylon palace and like
Greetings.
Just all the little secrets. Retake your homeworld, journey to Iowa, so much more. But let's keep on focusing on the gameplay that's going to be coming at us right now with the map starting.
So, I don't know if you noticed, but we actually have a couple role swaps coming out. DarthBieber's on DPS this game, and Cujo is on Diva duty.
And he's already making the name known. DarthBieber finding the Moira in an instant. Derpy with the Sombra pick though. They're gonna be trying to brawl this, but with losing Star's mech, it's gonna be difficult to push in. DarthBieber is still finding so many picks, so much damage coming through from the Pharaoh right there. And with that, the fight's pretty much really over. They have to reset. Star doesn't have a mech, and they're gonna be waiting on Moira to come back spawn.
This Pharah junk combo is looking very potent for Valkyries. I mean, they're getting a lot of chip damage out.
It's gonna be next, the Moira again being found. It's gonna be a fixed fight without main heal already. That's gonna make itself known because the amount of heal is way little and Riley by getting a double fire strike through.
It was an absolutely huge fire strike coming in for Riley. It just looks like Valkyrie's deciding to push them back out the gate.
Well, Riz is gonna come through after Duff finds some stuff. Let's see if this is going to keep going. They can't keep on having problem with the Moira dying so quickly. 2 fights in a row now, the Moira dies first, which isn't good, especially because it's the main heal in that composition.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw like the entirety of Peachimari switch, almost the entirety switch heroes. Like,
The Diva stays, the Lucio stays, but everybody else just swaps.
I feel like the Lucio might even go after the beat. Speaking of the beat,
Bomb comes through. It's only gonna be the Creed left in the back. Seaweb finding 2. Start finding the Rhine though. That's gonna be difficult. But the amount of spam damage coming through from both the DPS, DarthBieber on the Pharah, as well as the Junkrat. It's gonna be, oh no! The freeze onto the Baptiste, meaning no mortality, and the fight is actually just gonna keep on being messy.
say this is such a messy fight coming out from both teams. I mean, Derpy's putting in a lot of work on this May though. Right as I say that.
Junkrat finding free there with the Pharah as well, finding the baby Diva. Just gonna be more spam and spam into everybody. Riley wants some part of that fight too, finding 2. And it's just gonna keep going like this. We have only 1 minute left remaining on the clock. So when I was saying we could go potentially more than 3 maps, I wasn't lying. Because right now this looks very strong on the side of Valkyrie.
They have a very, very strong hold coming out here, and Peachimari's gonna have to find a way through it soon.
There's so much spam damage coming through from both the Junkrat and the Pharah, and the barrage is being available. And the question's gonna be, can they shut down the barrage? One of the mage is gonna be used inside. But there's gonna be 2 ultimates wasted as they do the right rotation. Nobody's gonna be found by that Matrix combo.
I mean, oh, Riley with a huge shot.
But it doesn't matter as Star shuts it down.
I don't think you're going to
This is the perfect opportunity for them to find the picks.
They're actually holding this point too.
It's gonna be one tick going through.
hold position.
Second tick gets denied, but potential third tick coming up in a second. Sushi.
Let's see what this
finding
tire
the
can
power.
do.
It's a big tire.
Yeah, I feel like the tire's going to be able to deny that third tick. He even beats to try to hold it longer, but I mean, he doesn't have any backup. Nobody can get to him.
He's completely alone on point. And 95.6% is all that we're gonna see.
Score.
Now
I-
it's a Peachimari to prove if they are the better team or not.
I
Can they?
know. I mean, we're
hold
seeing
this?
a completely different Valkyrie.
Initiating match.
But also a term often used in Overwatch League. Sandbagging.
Yeah.
Just wait for the reverse sweep now. Just wait. Like, yeah, we are done now. We are done trolling. We are gonna play serious now.
Yeah. They sandbag the first two games and then reverse sweep Peachimaris in a tournament named after them. Like, that'd be pretty insane.
Ready for battle.
That's actually true. Especially
I-
after they swapped some of the people around with like their roles, like Kujo going to tank, DarthBieber going to DPS.
Yeah, don't get
This
me
is gonna
wrong.
be
I don't think they were sandbagging. I just think that they got kind of desperate on this last map and decided they had to change things.
Oh,
We see a very interesting comp coming out on the side of Peachimaris, though.
I'm not sure about the break. Because if there's not really a dive happening, break will mostly just be swinging at empty spaces. Playing like a Mercy and Ana Zen would probably be better than the break, but let's see how this is going to go. Someone's gonna go into the spawn, but not gonna be connecting anybody. And it's gonna be Sombra probably looking for the scout here. They're gonna be already rotating at the bottom. Oh, this could be dangerous.
Ahorita regreso.
Another rotation comes through. A beautiful actual rotation from them. This is a completely different look than what they
Oh
previously
my
did.
god.
They're gonna be rotating as a complete team. DarthBieber finding the first pick onto Derpy. It's gonna be the major damage output out of the game. And it's a brick gonna be found for that. DarthBieber actually getting 2 picks in there. And that's already such a quick fight.
Yeah, this was such a huge fight for Valkyrie. Like, what are we seeing right now?
It's a completely different look.
It's a completely different team.
It's pretty much over.
That's it. Oh, almost.
Derpy being touching.
There goes the
That's gonna
map.
be-
I mean,
That's gonna be 40 seconds. That's gonna be like 40-50 seconds. That, if you want me to describe this match in one word,
Play of the game.
it's dominance. Because that was nothing else than dominance.
oh, I agree. That was such a dominant map for Valkyrie, showing that they really do have the fight in them to compete with Peachimaris. We just didn't see it till now.
Well, that happens. Well, what you think? What are we expecting from Valkyrie now after seeing the new look on them?
See, I think the series just got interesting, personally. I
Mhm.
mean, we were like, oh, you know, we'll see if they can grab this third map, and they don't just grab this third map; they snatch it away dominantly. So it's like,
Exactly. Like, I'm not in the position of Peachimaris, but was it maybe them taking them too lightly now? Peachimari taking Valkyrie too lightly? That they got
think that's a
so quickly
possibility.
pushed? Or is Valkyrie actually just stepping up their game so much that they completely overwhelm Peachimaris?
I think it's possible, you know. On one hand, it was possible that Peachimaris did kind of underestimate them. But you can also see from the side of Valkyrie, maybe that these first two maps lit a fire underneath them, and they said that we're not, you know, like, we're not going down this easily. We saw a completely different team that game. It looked like they were a lot more coordinated. Maybe they swapped up their comms. You never know. They could have somebody new talking, calling the shots.
They be listening to stream like, yeah, this guy says we have to play mod together. Okay, let's do that in an instant.
Yeah. Just that instant third map just came out, and I mean, it's honestly been completely different. That was crazy.
Well, it looks like we're going to be heading to Dorado next, which Dorado is a very, very long range map, especially the second point with the high ground and all those sight lines from like the high ground positions on the left and right, those like sidewalks or what you would call them. It's going to be interesting because I'm expecting to see a Pharah here, maybe from both teams actually.
Too, we're actually seeing a couple changes coming in for Peachimari's. I believe DerpyTheElf. Oh, a lot of changes coming out. Wow, they just swapped 3-4 players.
Well, this is going to be such a hot take what I'm about to say, but maybe Peachimari gifted that up because let's be honest, after ZenDis' performance in the first two maps, putting ZenDis out during that match and now putting him back in is
Yeah,
just like
I think what it was is Peachimari's has a fairly big roster. I believe they have 8 or 9, maybe 10 players. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they have a full 10-man roster. So I believe they were just trying to give their second string a bit more play time. And while we're seeing what I believe is going to be their starters switching back in.
seems like it. Well, it's gonna be Weasels who's going to be back, as well as ZenDis. And this is gonna be interesting because if they put ZenDis onto this map, I'm expecting the Pharah. I do not believe
agree,
that there's
yeah.
gonna be anything else than a Pharah coming out.
You put ZenDis on a map that's so dominant for Pharah, I mean, it would be crazy not to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for battle.
Well then.
Oh,
We
a
have
pause.
Pause. Pause.
Star disconnects from the game.
That's gonna be the router reset. Star throwing. Question mark.
Question marks? I
Well,
mean, over.
let's see how this is going to go because now with the disconnect happening, we have 5 minutes to see if she's going to be managing to come back or not. But what do you think of the composition so far? Looking at Riley and Cujo on the sick Rhine, this is going to be interesting, I think.
I think it can be very interesting. I think what it is we saw in the event of originally, I don't believe it was. I believe actually Cujo was playing tank on the first map
That could actually be the case, I think, here.
because what I think they're trying to do is they know that this is a good Pharah map. You know, they're sitting here like, oh, you know, of course ZenDis is back in. They're gonna bring out the Pharah. Cujo did an amazing job of eating projectiles, or whoever their SIG player was on Nepal did an amazing job of eating projectiles in that first map. So I think maybe they're trying to bring Cujo back onto the Sigma, knowing that ZenDis is going to want to look for that Pharah. So maybe this is kind of like a ace in the hole, like a pocket pick almost, you know?
Yeah, that could be the case actually. Yeah, it makes sense because the Sigma is pretty strong at shutting down a Pharah if you play him right. So it's gonna be interesting to see if Cujo can actually manage to shut down ZenDis' value. But after watching how much value ZenDis overall got through the first 2 maps, I think it's gonna be very difficult for Cujo to do that.
So from the side of Peachimari's, it looks like we're going to be seeing a pretty, I would say, a decently standard dive composition. I mean, you have Winston Diva, Tracer for the pulse bombs. ZenDis is hovering Torbjorn, apparently. We'll see if that actually happens or not.
Well,
I think
I'm
he's just
actually
playing with the
interested to
bells.
see on the other side though, because we're looking at Valkyrie holding this close. But they're missing their second support. Yeah, the second support's gonna come in now. But Fion's probably gonna be a little late to the party, and let's hope he doesn't get spotted there. I think actually the Tracer spotted him out. Yeah, Tracer spotted it.
I think it's really interesting. They're just pouring out of the building.
At the same time, there's so many people in the backline. Cujo finding Sushi though. Star's mech is going to go dangerously low. The demon comes through, and ZenDis on the high ground is just gonna keep on spamming damage at them. Ready with the Fire Strike, actually gonna connect onto Trashley, which is gonna be the honor gone from the game. And ZenDis is just gonna still keep on applying pressure onto their front line there.
Right beside you. I will not waste.
I think this is such a big problem because we're not seeing. I mean, we do have DarthBieber on the Mei, but I feel like we're gonna need to see a hit scan come out soon to find an answer to this Pharah, or Peachimari's is gonna run away with this map, in my opinion.
Probably. Because a Baptiste alone isn't enough to shut down a Pharah. And now, at the same time though, in the meanwhile, Seaweb actually got found by WeaselCake, where WeaselCake just pretty much found the Junkrat out of position and finish him off. But now the barrage is gonna come through, but instantly shut down! Good shield by Kujo coming through, and that's a massive shatter. That's both the tanks shattered. He's gonna be charging the wings all the way to their backline. And Weasel actually manages to get out of there with 1 HP, but that's gonna be a lot of charge for the supports. Beat comes through, and they don't want to give up this fight. They're just gonna push now. They don't care about the Pharah in their backline. They're just gonna start pressing W at them.
Well, I feel like this is kind of a case of split priorities because we saw DarthBieber and Seaweb almost trying to turn around to focus ZenDis, but their tanks are charging forward, so it's like maybe everybody's not on the same page here.
That could of course be the case. Now they're gonna be retreating back as a full team. But oh no, Sushi, ZenDis again! Finding 2 in their backline. That's gonna be probably the... No, actually Sushi is going to be finishing off the Junkrat. And that's already Zend... Oh no!
WeaselCake, oh my god.
DarthBieber goes for the Mei ult. And WeaselCake shuts it down.
The payload has
That's a Mei ult not gonna get any value. But it seems like the swap's actually gonna come through onto the Kree. So of course, probably maybe just wanted to use it to just get a free swap without having to think about not using the Mei ult.
I mean, we're looking at 4 ultimates. There goes the bomb, though.
That's gonna find Seaweb. I do not know what that actually was because they were just teleported down during the remake animation.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
That's already gonna be 3 people found again. And Kuja's gonna be in the 1v1 with Star, while WeaselCake is just in the backline cleaning up everybody. That's gonna be the Rhine dropping as well to ZenDis. And Star winning the 1v1 with Kuja right there. And that's gonna be a full reset for Valkyrie here.
I definitely think that we're seeing a very... I guess we're seeing flashes of what Peachimaris were in the first 2 maps. And they're holding 5 ultimates, so I mean, I'm pretty sure they're looking to make this a quick one.
It seems like a quick one. Maybe a little bit of the drive for revenge is coming in. Then knowing, oh, the Shadow connects onto 3 people, both tanks and Diana. Seaweb going for the barrage, not for the barrage, I'm sorry, for the tire. Actually going to be shutting down both Pharah Mercy. So the anti-air junk coming in right there.
Yeah. Not something you see too often, but he did a pretty good job of it.
Fire onto the Mercy with then the follow-up mine straight into the Nano Pharah, which got actually pretty quickly deleted there. ZenDis not finding a lot of value with his barrages currently.
No, ZenDis, that's a one thing is they have... I wonder if that was a bat finger? An accidental ulti?
Maybe didn't hit the boosters right and just placed it right there. I mean, it happened to me too sometimes too. But ZenDis is just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna push the count now. Sushi shutting down Riley's shatter with the pulse bomb. I just saw the animation. I wasn't actually following the fight there.
Or maybe Kujo was thrown off the map?
Well, the reset's gonna come in from Valkyrie, and we have 3 minutes 15 left on the clock here for Peachimaris, which is gonna be interesting because with so many ults being used by both teams, we're gonna be looking at 3 ults on the sides of Valkyrie though, and actually the swap from the Rhine comes in onto the Hawk. I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
I'm not too sure either, and I think what we saw there is Kujo burned the ult and jumped off the map to get the swap to Sigma in time for it to matter.
That could be the case. Well, Riley's gonna go for the hook here. He's gonna miss. That's gonna be a bomb into the back though. But it's not gonna find anybody. There's gonna be a high noon going to be used as well. And that's gonna be star demacked, which is probably gonna be a big pick. But ZenDis still having free high ground control. He's just gonna keep on spamming those rockets into everybody. Winston's gonna be diving onto the creek, creating space for ZenDis. And we're gonna have the Junkrat contesting the point, focusing on Trashley. But Sushi's gonna find Seaweb first before he finds Diana. DarthBieber going to be finding, and that's another barrage of no value.
Well, we see the Primal come out too.
Primal's gonna be used. Puca comes onto him, but that's gonna be the nano onto the Winston, and that's gonna be a lot of damage coming from. The anti doesn't connect onto the Hawk, but Hawk doesn't have any heals available, and that's gonna probably mean he's gonna be dying rather soon. ZenDis shutting down 2 and shutting down the Hawk ult. But again, the Junkrat getting so much value in the back, but ZenDis still knows what he has to do, and he's just gonna keep on finishing people left and right. And with that, we're gonna be looking at 1 minute 48 left on the clock.
So I think we saw what I like to say a valiant sacrifice come out there from WeaselCake right there at the end. You saw him almost jump right into the tire from Seaweb to stop it from reaching the team in time.
It's always like, you have to ask yourself, what is the value that you want to get for ultimative? Do you feel comfortable with trading your own life to negate an enemy ultimative? And sometimes it's a valuable trade, sometimes it isn't. In that situation, I think it was.
I think it was too, because I mean, imagine that tire sneaks past Weasel and takes out 4 people. I mean, Peachimari's was grouped up entirely on that payload. That could have been a huge tire.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see how the defense comes out. It looks like they're changing nothing.
Well, on the side of Peachimari's, nothing's going to be changed, but let's be honest, if it works, why change it up?
True, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
True, but on the other side, actually, this is going to be interesting. A double flyer setup with a break Zarya. Meaning, if the break Zarya are on the card with the other 4 people just controlling the high ground, this is going to be difficult to play. For the side of Peachimari.
This could be a very difficult hold from Peachimari. You see they immediately jump on Pharmacy.
It's going to be Lemonwench in trouble, already half HP. But no actual follow-up gonna come through. And what a direct by ZenDis though! DarthBieber taking some direct straight to the face onto long range. But ZenDis is gonna actually be rotating onto the break there, going to be finding the break. And Riley, DarthBieber killing both the supports. And this again just seems like a completely different Valkyrie. And they keep on pushing, they're creating the space, they're pushing together, they're working as a team, and it's just working out.
We actually see ZenDis switching onto an echo of his own here. And I think it's going to be really interesting just to kind of see if these picks make any difference. It almost seems like Peachimari's are already backing up to concede this first point and prepping for the second.
Well, they have to, because they can't really go in to being staggered like they were. Just one after another falling, not really everybody dying together. But Riley's gonna be on Sushi in the backline, so Riley's gonna take a lot of damage now, but he's gonna manage to survive that. Trashley though says no to my sentence right there. It's like, nah, he's not surviving that today. It's the auntie onto Riley, going to find him. And with that, they're gonna be 5v6. Starno contesting the Farah with ZenDis following up with some damage. Focusing beam comes through, but doesn't really kill the Farah off. Sushi finding Seaweb in the back with some good shots as the Ashe. DarthBieber now low HP as well, and Sushi now making his presence known as the hitscan. Ashe's gonna be... Oh, but again, ZenDis just doing the same thing, finding 2. Seaweb with the copy onto the Diva there. Bomb's gonna come through.
Oh!
It's actually gonna be 2. And they keep on pushing this. They've managed to drain some.
Oh, this bomb?
That was an interesting bomb, but the look on Star seems to be showing that wasn't the plan. Just staring at that bomb.
Yeah, Star just stood there in the open just staring at the bomb like, well, you know, I gave it my best shot. Like...
get you back
Well,
out
We
to
just see the
problem
Bob. Bob is up for Sushi though.
Heroes never die.
I think the Bob should get a lot of value here if placed correctly. But the problem is, oh no, yeah, the problem is the barrage by DarthBieber. It's gonna be both the DPS down for Peachimari, and
Let's get you back in the fight.
never mind. Lemonwench actually has to say something about that, reviving ZenDis, especially because ZenDis is kinda the dead player right now. I'm not allowed to finish my sentence anymore.
I was about to say, it's just like they can hear
It's
us.
gonna be a grab used, and it's gonna be catching 3 people, but the diva in the back, actually somehow behind the wall, being sucked in, is going to survive it. But look at Star's health though. 1 hit and Star's gonna lose mech.
I think right now we're looking at this different version of Valkyries. I mean, 5 minutes left, pushing into this last objective. Like, what happened?
Now Peachimari has to get ready to get a big defense going, because of 4 minutes 30 left on the clock. If they don't start holding their own soon, this could potentially go to the 5th map.
Don't stop now.
I think this could be a pretty big nail biter, though. We do see the ultimate up on Orisa, and the copy will be up for ZenDis when he comes up. Oh, ZenDis actually choosing to forego the copy and switching over to the Torbjorn? Oh, nope, ZenDis swap. ZenDis needs to pick what hero he's gonna play before this card hits the point.
Finally finding Trashley, that's a Baptiste down. The copy is gonna find, oh that's big. Seaweb.
That was a huge...
Mobility increased.
What is happening?
Round 2.
Valkyrie said, we're gonna do it better and we're gonna do it 2 minutes faster.
Score.
I'm sticking to my to my statement. I feel like there's a sandbag be happening.
Oh, Sushi left the game? Lag calls coming out on the side of WeaselCake for, assuming talking about Sushi?
I believe so. I think happens. Well, yeah, that does happen. But well then, Mr. CaptainK, what do you think of the new look Valkyrie is giving us right now?
I'm just wondering where it's been till now. I mean, I think this double flyer comp they brought up just absolutely came crazy.
I mean, I'm seeing it this way. ZenDis is alone on a flyer currently, with both the enemy flyers being the Echo and the Farah by DarthBieber and Seaweb, focusing ZenDis down. He's constantly under pressure by 2 enemy people, meaning he's not getting that much value because he is either being shut down in an instant, or he's trying to get his value, but is just not having the space to get his value. So right now, what it looks like is that Valkyrie is pretty much doing the right thing, and they're hardcore contesting the MVP candidate in ZenDis to not allow him to get any space. And now that he doesn't get any space, really, it's just they're rolling. They're vibing. Valkyrie's vibing the card to the point.
I agree, because I mean, you look at the contributions ZenDis put into the last 2 games. There are 2 games that he was on the field and on these maps. I mean, the dude was a one-man army, honestly. He was absolutely just tearing holes in Valkyrie left and right. I mean, there was the point he was cleaning up 2 or 3 members by himself at times. So I mean, to oppress a player that's doing that, to oppress a player that's contributing that much, could actually see the shift in momentum that we're seeing now.
Mm-hmm. Well, question's gonna be: is Peachimari gonna swap some stuff up to deny the double flyer composition to get that much value, or I don't actually know. There could be so many things happening right now. We're gonna have to see how it goes once the map actually starts.
I think what we need to see here is, wow, I do like the Ash pick from Sushi. We need to see him swap onto a bit more devastating hit scan and take care of these flyers to help out ZenDis.
I feel like we're calling out the Widowmaker. Click them hits.
I could see a Widowmaker, maybe a McCree. we'll have to see what comes through for the side of Peachimari's to see if they can't hold. Well, they've held this, did not hold this defense, so we will have to see what comes out. And I mean, their attack composition is looking pretty similar to what it did in the beginning.
I mean, it worked out for them. Because, well, overall, Valkyrie was playing a rather brawly type of comp, focusing on hiding in that like front building and then just running them over. But the second they couldn't get into them anymore because they were mostly taking high grounds, they couldn't really get any value of that anymore. So they just kept on pushing the card forward. But now they're actually doing this different. With the double flyer composition again, with Riley on the Winston, Kujo on the Zarya. And we're gonna have Maspa on the Mercy as well as Fionn on the Ana, which means long range healing as well as the pocket for the Pharah coming through. Now it's gonna be completely on ZenDis.
I mean, you see so much damage coming out on the Lemonwench. He's literally 1 HP.
Darth's gonna find it. That's gonna be Mercy down. But Sushi, same time, going to go in. And ZenDis is getting into so much pressure.
I think the move here from ZenDis and Lemon is that they have to give up this Pharmacy combo. And I feel like they have to have ZenDis switch over to a hit scan and try to push through these points. I mean, these air-to-air battles, especially with a projectile character like Pharah, isn't really going to be the move in my opinion.
But overall, the problem is that both the flyers are focusing him down. And DarthBieber just seems to be more of a Pharah player than ZenDis currently. He's hitting those directs even in the air-to-air duel, and that is not good.
That's not easy either. That is something that definitely takes a fair bit of aim and coordination when it comes to winning air-to-air battles with direct hits on rockets.
Well, ZenDis is gonna swap over to the soldier here now. And Trashley as well on the Baptiste, seeming like they're gonna have some DPS pressure onto those flyers. But the break, I'm not sure about the break. Farmer's gonna be used into their backline, and it's gonna be on Sushi to pretty much just get the card forward a little bit, but at the same time gonna be punished out of that. ZenDis now in trouble, as well as Riley's gonna be just sitting in their backline and just doing so much creep damage into their supports there. But Maspa's gonna be rezzing the Pharah, and the Pharah has the barrage available. Barrage is gonna come through. It's 2, it's 4! It's over!
Yeah, that's it. That's the 4th map. I mean, Sushi's really trying to stall out here, but I doubt he can hold until these timers come back up. They have nobody fast enough to get back to the point.
Well, just the BM with the copy onto the Tracer to finish him off.
Honestly, my question here, and I mean, to Peachimari's is just what happened? You know, I mean, this is the same lineup we saw take the first 2 maps so dominantly, and now it's like they're scrambling for answers.
This is not going the way of Peachimari. After 2 pretty dominant rounds for Peachimari, it's just a swap up now. And Valkyrie has been showing such a new face, such a dominant performance now. And it's 3 minutes 49 for like not even 35 meters.
I mean,
if they lose one fight, it's over.
What I'm seeing here is, you know, I admit, I thought this was going to be a very open and closed series. You know, the first 2 maps went so dominantly, and I mean, we saw different Peachimaris, but the different Valkyrie in that 3rd map and this 4th map even. So it's just kind of like, do Peachimaris have it in them to adapt and come back on this map, or are they going to be able to? Are they going to have to go 5 maps? Like,
5, 4.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
1. Attackers incoming.
ZenDis on the Bastion, Weasel. That's going to be just a double flyer composition against the Bastion though. So this is going to be interesting. Because the spam damage is going to be so big against ZenDis, with no barrier available for him. Shots are going to come through. Riley though finding the Kree in the back, and that is not good. And that's going to be the full focus onto ZenDis. He's going to be insta-deleted. This is going to be 4v6 now. Weasel though finding the Echo. He's actually going to find the brick as well. And Weasel is putting some hope into Peachimari's fate currently. but the pressure onto him is gonna deny it, and he's gonna be finished off right there. See him finding Trashley in the back, and it's over. We're going to
Map
map 5, ladies
4.
and gentlemen.
Yeah, map 4 goes to Valkyrie. I mean, like I said, this came from a very open and closed series to a very competitive series right off the bat. I'm willing to bet this is going to see that huge, this huge Sigma copy.
This was brutal. This completely denied any help, any potential chance to contest that point, because both supports and the DPS get deleted by that. That's just... Well then, the question's going to be, what's going to be map 5? What is Peachimari going to do to... Peachimari, sorry about that. What is Peachimari going to do to adapt to the new pressure and the new look that Valkyrie is showing us now?
See, I agree. I think that's going to be the question is, do they have an answer, or are Valkyrie just going to keep playing the game that they're playing? They figured out, to me, it looks like they figured out how to shut down ZenDis, and I'm not one to make assumptions, but so far it looks like if you shut down ZenDis, you shut down Peachimaris. I mean,
It seems like it. And with
you have
Oasis coming
moments,
up, with Oasis coming up, it's pretty much going to be the same. Because Oasis, again, big Pharah map. ZenDis, Pharah,
big Pharah player.
and then you're gonna have Seaweb and DarthBieber on the Pharah and the Echo. So as long as Sushi doesn't create some extra space by playing a hit scan to put some of the pressure off ZenDis' back, Seaweb and DarthBieber are just gonna keep contesting ZenDis. ZenDis is gonna be shut down, and we're gonna go to a win for Valkyrie.
Yeah, I would honestly think it would be crazy to see this map come back and really just come back as a game 5, like see the series go the way of Valkyrie. I mean, it would be absolutely crazy to see that happen. But I actually do believe we're going to have a short break before we go into map 5.
Well, it seems like it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're gonna be right back after a short 5-minute break for the final map of today's match between Valkyrie and Peachimaris on Oasis. So we'll see you guys in a second. Well done, ladies and gentlemen, as well as any members of the LGBTQ plus community. Welcome back to the final map after a surprising showcase of skill by Valkyrie. Now in the 5th map, the one who's going to be deciding who's going to be taking it all. And now, give me your opinion. What do you think, Mr. CaptainK?
I'll be honest, man. Like, I'm not trying to lose my job here, but like, I'm kind of rooting for the underdog here. Like,
Well, who is the underdog? Because
well, I guess the last 2 maps, Peachimari's have been the underdog, but I am always one for the Game 5 Cinderella story. I'd love to see this reverse sweep happen. I mean, at this point, the last 2 maps, Valkyrie have shown they've earned it.
Exactly. And they're gonna run the same thing again. They're gonna run the same composition, which was so difficult to deal with by Peachimari. And let's see how this is going to go. We have a swap though, so LYNKEECHOW is gonna come in as a support for Peachimari here, but let's see how this is going to go. Now, the fight's gonna be starting here. We're gonna be looking at the Pharaoh duel coming through, but at the same time, it's not really a Pharaoh duel with Seaweb putting some pressure as well onto ZenDis. And Star is going to be taking... This is such a split fight. Everyone is everywhere. Sushi with the first pick onto the Ana. And it seems like now we're actually going to be looking at the top plays from both sides. ZenDis finding the Mercy. And it's going to be DarthBieber, last the Pharaoh alive, going to try to find the Mercy as well. But Star's going to be shutting him down right here, right now. And that's going to be DarthBieber down. And this is already a good start for Peachimari here.
So, while we have a bit of a lull in the action, I do want to ask you, I mean, we have a very clear MVP candidate in Peachimari's for ZenDis, but who are you thinking on the side of Valkyries, in your personal opinion?
I am not actually sure. I have to say, both the DPS have been putting out so much pressure with DarthBieber and Seaweb, but I kinda have to say, I wouldn't go for the DPS, I would go for Riley.
See, I've actually been thinking the same thing. Riley, with the exception of just now, has been a very big brick wall for this team. I mean, he hit some huge Rhine shatters, was hitting big fire strikes. Like, the man was showing up when they needed a rock to hold on to. And I feel like those first 2 maps and into that 3rd map, him holding on is really kind of what brought this to the point where we're close to a reverse sweep.
Well, Peachimari now though with the dominance performance. We're already nearing 60% with
I need healing.
ults for both teams coming online. It seems like ZenDis and DarthBieber are pretty much having the same Pharaoh performances. Both of them pretty much at the equal time get the Pharaoh ult up. But Sushi again finding the other, and ZenDis finding 2 in the back, finding 3, and ZenDis is already here to like say, yes, I am the MVP. I am coming in here to show you what I can do. The Nano comes through onto ZenDis. It's gonna be pretty much 3 ults, no 4 ults actually used on the side of Peachimari, while DarthBieber is gonna be actually forced to swap off the Pharaoh now.
I think the big thing that came out here is ZenDis said, you know, I'm done playing around, like, I'm gonna prove that I'm the better Pharah, that I deserve the MVP, like.
Oh, that bomb could have gone big, but Kujo shuts it down with his barrier. Star now finding the kill onto Riley, and we're at 99%. This is the last fight. This is gonna be deciding who's gonna be taking what. ZenDis finding his counterpart. He's gonna be finding DarthBieber. Seaweb now with the copy coming through. He's gonna be copying the D.Va, and he has to come up clutch here. He has to get the clutch bomb.
Doesn't look like it.
And ZenDis still is making so much space, getting so many picks. He's like, yeah, like you said, I've had enough. I am here to prove I am the dominance.
Yeah, I think he had his off map and then he was like, you know what, it's time, like I'm coming back with a vengeance, like.
That's 2 more for ZenDis. Now coming back in. He's gonna be focusing. That's 3 for ZenDis. That's gonna be the Star eating the graph though. That's gonna be 4 for ZenDis. That's gonna be
5 for ZenDis. And Sushi takes the last one from him. I'm pretty sure ZenDis picked up like 12 kills that round.
Score 0.
ZenDis did all the work. He's been playing this very good.
Ready for battle.
Would you like sparkling or
Because if you look at it, he's been using the natural cover to focus his counterparts down in form of DarthBieber and Seaweb. And it seems like they've done the game planning correct now, because they are focusing down Mars Bar on the Mercy, which means DarthBieber and Seaweb didn't both really have the pocket, as the Mercy was pretty much the primary target for them. So now, instead of focusing down like the Pharah player, they're just doing the right thing. They focus the Mercy down. Without the Mercy, you don't have the sustain, and without the sustain, a Pharah can't really just go in all the time.
I mean, you're seeing there's a bit of a comp switch, and we actually see Seaweb switch to the Asp and maybe try to find an answer for ZenDis, but we'll have to see if it proves to be enough to shut down what seems to be a dominant one-man force right now.
Yeah, he's already making a statement again. He's instantly going to find the Pharah, and now it's gonna be ZenDis versus a pocketed brick. Question's gonna be, Fionn, can you actually manage to take out the Pharah? No, you can't.
Sushi's actually doing work in the back line. I mean, he killed off Kujo. He just killed Mars Bar. Like, ZenDis has been the star of the show, but like, Sushi has been the shadow straight on his heels. Like, it's safe to say that the DPS on Peachimari's are no slouch.
Well, question's going to be, can Valkyrie now adapt quick enough? It seems like it. DarthBieber finding Sushi now in the back, and that's gonna be ZenDis still keeping some spam damage going in, but the Kree's focusing on the Diva, not really on the Pharah now. So
You can see him looking for this huge barrage, though. I mean, like, this could be such a big moment. Here it goes!
That's 4. Is there gonna be a 5th? Can you get your 6k today? Can you get the 6k? Come on, he's behind you! Find him, please! Come on,
He ran away! Oh, is he trying to get... I thought he was trying to get to the highway for a second.
ZenDis is not allowed to get to 6k today.
Well, apparently Valkyrie's not allowed to play the game when ZenDis is on the field, so... We see DarthBieber is holding this Deadeye, though.
But now Weasel overextends, gets stunned out, and Seaweb now actually making the name known of the Genji. Yes, Genji has the buff recently coming in, but that's gonna be Hainu just out the bomb armor, the soul load coming through, and it's gonna be ZenDis in their back now, actually gonna put some pressure onto them. Marsbar going down 1 HP, but ZenDis actually finds him. And DarthBieber finding the baby diva, and ZenDis again, he's just doing so much work.
I'm going to be very curious at the end of this game what his elimination count comes up to be.
I am less interested in the kills, are more interested in the damage, because in the damage you can see the money. And DarthBieber finding him. Does the rest come through? The rest comes through. And DarthBieber's gonna have to deal with ZenDis now.
Oh my god! He at least finds Riley.
There's gonna be a blade coming through, but he's gonna be bullied by Weasel. Weasel's gonna be like, I am a Winston, I have Primer, I am mad now. Your katana doesn't matter if I am mad.
Yeah, he's like, I am Big Monkey, I punch man with sword is dead.
Pretty much. Kuja being the last one alive on point. No, Riley actually gonna come back in to try to stall a little bit more time out. But
swinging that shield wildly, trying to just block anything that he could, like.
But we're gonna be looking at the last 15 seconds. If they cannot get anybody onto the point, and it could be over. Map 5, and it's actually the turnaround now. Peachimari now with pretty much a dominant performance, and they're gonna have to touch. They only have 5 seconds left. The grab comes through. It's gonna catch Weasel. Can anybody touch? Seaweb touches it, but Star's gonna be finding the. Oh, that's gonna be high noon. That's gonna be big. Both ZenDis and the Mercy are gonna be down. But this can be such a scuffed fight. Who's gonna be taking this? Weasel's gonna find 2. It's gonna be Genji. Weasel being the MVP of this fight. Can he actually do it? Kirbellious. Oh, what's happening? Righty. No, again touching the point. He's gonna be on the. The tanks are gonna come in to try to contest this. But it's gonna be the poor hamster rolling on the floor because the wrecking ball robot or whatever it's called is now down.
I mean, they have the bomb and the nano available, and there goes the bomb.
It's just gonna be a last few tries to contest it, but it's over. Peachimari actually turning it around in the 5th map, showing a dominance performance.
Play of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else it could be.
Again, the third time today. Play of the game. It's gonna be ZenDis. Who else did you expect?
Yeah, this barrage was legendary.
Quadruple kill.
That's 4. That's the 5th. And she was busy. Actually, that's such on him. He could have gotten the 6k there.
Oh my
if
God.
He had the T-Bucks to spray.
We don't even get the damage stat. We get the fact that he had 12 barrage kills that match, 4 rocket barrages for the overall MVP ZenDis. Like,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as well as any members of the LGBTQ community, I believe we are going to have some interviews pretty soon in a second here with I do not know who you want, Captain, but I want ZenDis to come in here.
oh
And
yeah,
on
of
the other
course.
side, I have to say, I'm not sure on Valkyrie side, but I feel like Riley did a good job. At the same time, though, Seaweb and DarthBieber both did pretty good damage outputs on the DPS, and it looked strong from them with the Echo Farah. But after ZenDis stepped the game up in the 5th match, they weren't really allowed to play the game.
For
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be right back with you guys with the MVP interviews. But before that, we're going to be head again into a short break. So we'll see you guys in a second. Stay tuned, and we're going to be right back. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, as well as any members of the LGBTQ community, welcome back to our final few minutes. Now, the MVP interviews from both teams. We here now have Riley with us, which was the tank player on the side of Valkyrie. And CaptainK, you want to go ask the first questions?
Yeah, so my biggest question for you, Riley, obviously, you had a great performance, holding, in my opinion, the brick wall for your team. What was your mentality when you guys what changed from map 2 to map 3 and 4 essentially, The series got very competitive very quickly.
Yeah, I think the main part about it was just switching up our comps and mindsets. We were really down after the first two maps, and we just decided to try something new with aerial superiority with double bubble.
Well,
Well,
overall, it looked good because out of nowhere, you guys started dominating, which was completely unexpected on our side.
Yeah, we were just trying to bring the battle to the sky. Obviously ZenDis was absolutely dominating on that Pharah, and we decided if we couldn't get a hit scan to shut him down, we thought that we were just gonna try and dive their backline harder than he dove ours.
see, I think
Oh
it
yeah,
sounds
that
like a
makes
great game plan to me, It worked out, it paid off. You guys had an excellent series, honestly. I personally loved casting it. It was so back and forth, so intense. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask our MVP Riley here, Thunder?
Well, to be honest, I have only one question on my mind, which was, what did you guys think of ZenDis pretty much? Because ZenDis overall, it felt like during this third and fourth map, you guys just focused him really hard for trying to deny his space, and yeah.
Our main thing was just trying to catch out the Mercy. Um, Once the Mercy was removed, they just became much more easy to focus down and just poke out.
Mhm.
So we just tried to go on the Mercy and their backline as much as possible.
I definitely, yeah, I think it was a great game plan. Like I said, you guys, I really commend bouncing back. I know personally, I was a competitor at one time as well, and bouncing back when you're down 0-2 is really difficult. And I really just want to say, commend you guys for bouncing back and giving us such a competitive series. Because, like you said, you guys were down, and to have the mentality to come back and be like, no, we're not sitting down for this.
Yeah.
It was a great series from you guys. You guys definitely have a ton of potential. And this series, in my opinion, proves that. So I really can't wait to see what you guys can do in the future.
Mhm.
Yep.
Same here. Same here.
We just kind of have the mindset of it's always 0-0, you know. We always
And
start
that is the
0-0
right
for
yeah.
maps. So
I think that's an amazing mentality to have. It's kind of like just being able to separate the game from the last one. The second a new map starts, that's it. Let's get back in it. And I think that's a great mentality. And honestly, Riley, thanks so much for talking to us. I can't wait to see you guys. Hopefully, we get to see you on stream again.
yeah, thank you guys so much again.
Thank you. Well then, ZenDis, it is your turn. Please unmute.
Hello.
Hello. Well then,
Thank you.
let's see. Let's see. I mean, what can we overall say about spectating you play that? What are you doing? Like, why do you teabag with spray when there's a 6k waiting? There's a 6k waiting! But you're in a spray!
Honestly, in that moment, my mind kind of went blank, and I completely forgot that we were actually playing in a tournament for a second. I was just like, "Oh yeah, this is a competitive match." I don't know why my brain defaulted to that, and my brain just went you got 4 kills, spray." And when that happened, they were just like, "Why spray?" And I was just like, "Shit, sorry, I forgot."
Yeah.
Like,
Because
we were
I mean-
I know the rules, like no like teabagging, no like being toxic, and that like I apologize to the guys for that. That was completely on me.
like I was sitting there casting this and I was like, is this gonna be the 6K? Is this gonna be the 6K? Nah, we gotta just like
Yeah.
spray and sit there and let the Genji get away. I was like, come on, why would
So-
you do this?
One question I have for you, and this is something I like to ask MVPs on the winning side, is like, do you feel like you deserve the MVP of this series? Is there anybody else on your team that that you would pick in your place?
Probably definitely Sushi. They were always in the backlines. They were always doing what I like honestly kept on forgetting to do. Cause as a Pharah, it's always like, okay, you gotta go for the backlines, you gotta focus the enemy healers, anyone else who might be like spread apart. I sometimes like auto forget to do that, and I basically just like, okay, I'm gonna help my tanks going up against their tanks. If we're playing something more like rush style, sort of brawlish. And Sushi is always the one picking off of everything. They're always the ones getting the first instigator kills. They are just absolutely amazing in everything that they do, and I appreciate them very, very much.
That is wholesome commentary right there.
I agree. That's very wholesome commentary, but you'll hear a similar sentiment from me if you go back and watch the cast. I feel like you two were such a dynamic duo in those matches that where it was like you were constantly pressuring their front line while Sushi was always in their back line. It was just this like storm of bullets and confusion that Valkyrie didn't know what to do against the first couple of games. So how do you guys feel about this series overall?
Actually, if I can step into that really quick because my question really follows up on that. How did you guys handle like the surprising aggression and adaptability coming out in like the 3rd to 4th round from Valkyrie?
The 3rd map I didn't play in, so I can't really tell you about that, but the 4th map, I do good on Pharah. I am terrible against going Pharahs. I like completely freak out whenever I see like a Pharah Echo in the sky on the enemy team, and I'm just like, oh no, what do I do now? I can only really play Pharah in situations like this. So that's why when I immediately saw that they were going double aerial comp, I switched off to Echo because it was sort of easier to counter as Echo. And then when I realized that stuff wasn't going off well over there, I kept on playing to ultimate, which I should not have done. Because I ended up just not using ultimate at all and switching off to soldier, and that was like at the point where I was just like, oh man, I'm kind of useless here, because it was just like I couldn't really go aerial comp to counter their aerial comp, and they were playing double aerial comp very, very well. Because when I saw that like the first time in map 4, I was just like, oh no, what do I do? Because again, I'm not good at playing against those comps. So that's why in like the last like ditch effort in map 4, I went Bastion because I was like just completely out of ideas what to do, and I was just like, maybe if I throw something out of left field, it'll catch them off guard. Did not. They countered it amazingly. And
I think you kinda underestimate yourself a little bit because in the 5th map, we pretty much saw how it can go when you're confident in yourself, as you pretty much forced the enemy Pharah to swap off, being so dominant. So yeah, give yourself some credit here.
Yeah, no, once after the 4th map, we got back in the room with our coach, and he was just like, I'm disappointed in y'all. He kept on saying y'all a whole bunch, and it was just like, you guys need to focus their backlines. And once he sort of said that, our Winston and Tracer kind of like looked to each other, nodded their head, and focused their Ana like crazy.
Well, yeah. Nice job. Well,
That's it.
back to your question now, CaptainK.
Honestly, I think that really kind of wrapped up what I was thinking. I really just can't wait to see what you guys can do. Obviously, you're a great team. You guys played extremely well together. So just great job to you guys. Best of luck going forward, and just thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. We're really excited to continue playing.
Well done. Thanks for coming.
Mhm.
And I think with this, we're going to be wrapping this up. Thank you, everybody, for coming by and watching this stream and us with our commentary here. Thanks to both the teams that came by to play each other. It was actually very intense and very fun to cast this. And I'm going to give the last word here to CaptainK now.
Just thank you so much, everybody. I mean, the support and like the hype that we get off the chat and everything is always just so much fun to see. At least I personally always keep my chat open. Just I hope you guys enjoyed the casting and enjoyed the matches as much as we did. And we will see you, I believe, next week for the next matches.
For fellow EUs like me.